Well, after a pretty long streak of positive Bethesda videos, they have shot themselves in the foot, and we have to break the mold here. Fallout 4's next-gen update is an absolute disaster from top to bottom. Some of the bug and glitches videos I am seeing right now are pretty unbelievable, and I know some people will go, "What? It's Bethesda. What do you expect?" But when you think about how long ago this was announced and where we are now, and how it seems Bethesda was wildly unprepared, not just on the bugs and glitches front, but we're going to talk about things surrounding the next gen update and how the community is naturally circumnavigating all of that. They were not ready for this somehow, and I imagine now the wait for the Fallout 4 next gen update was not because they were cooking and then working on Starfield and then cooking some more, but because this might have been done extremely last minute if the stuff I'm going to show you today doesn't make that incredibly apparent. Now, I come from this very unique angle of I play Fallout 4 pretty regularly for my content. I always end up covering Bethesda stuff, so I'm hopping into Fallout 4 every now and again, whether it's for the content or I just feel like playing it for a little bit. So it's not like I haven't played this game since 2015 or 16 like many other people out there, and they're coming back in. It's that anecdotal like, oh, shucks, man. For example, the load times, they're much longer than I remember. Well, games really have come far, have they? When I fired up the Fallout 4 Next Gen update on PC, I had a 3+ minute load screen. That has never happened to me before. I'm one of those people who, I guess I'm very lucky. I see the videos online, the experiences online, and how awful on a technical level the Bethesda games are. I personally don't encounter these absolute travesties, and I've been playing them for almost my entire life. This time with Fallout 4 and its next-gen update, as I continue to go back to it, this is one of the worst experiences I've had on a technical level with a Bethesda game. I'm not going to sit here and tell you it was Fallout 76 levels of bad. That was really a bad time for them. But when you look at what's happening here with Fallout 4, especially for how long it's been out, naturally this means, number one, that it's unacceptable. Number two, it means that they're going to have to continue to update the game. So that's why we have mods now of people rolling back the next gen update because it broke the game. They have people who are avoiding any future updates because it's going to happen. The Fallout 4 next gen update is borked, so Bethesda's going to have to continue to update it. And this is a problem because if you have a mod list, that's going to break multiple times. And we just saw Fallout 4 script extender got updated, which means it can enable a lot of other mods. It's just a chain reaction here where I do wish, and I said this before, that there was a Fallout 4 special edition, not just because they could take all of the Creation Club content and everything and put it into one, but let it be the separate SKU that continuously gets updated so people can stay with the vanilla game safely with their mods. I just feel like it would have made so much more sense to do that after how long we waited to make sure what you were offering for the Fallout 4 Next Gen update was more on the content side of things, but also that polished level, make it a separate SKU, and then you can tweak it because it's adding a bunch of new things. But here, it's been a disaster. I'm going to show you a lot of the bugs and glitches I've been seeing online, talk a bit again about my experience, and just provide this overall warning that the next gen update, you should be, especially on PC, aware of. If you get a hankering for Fallout 4, these are some things you actually may end up encountering. Now, the good news is I'm not seeing any reports online of, oh, it's bugged my save, it's destroyed my game, but on a visual front, oh my goodness. All right, so how about an exclamation point launcher? Yeah, that's pretty crazy, right? So Reddit user ChopSuey0299 posted this video here from the makeshift weapons pack. Now, not all of these are tied to the new Creation Club content that's built into the game, but this just means flat out, to my understanding, that the item is not registering in-game at all. And so that's why when they go into third person eventually, you're going to see that the player character is a giant triangle with an exclamation point. They're shooting out triangles with exclamation points because it's not registering in-game that this is an item available here. So yeah, like things such as this are happening, and that's kind of unfortunate for a brand new weapon pack with things like a piggy bank you could shoot or a baseball launcher that you can shoot. That's the worst. Perhaps what's worse, though, is what we see here from Reddit user Pisco Spire. This flickering is on a whole other level. I mean, we're seeing like infrared level flickering. It is all over the place, in your face. It's not one of those visual bugs that you can just kind of look at and go, all right, moving on. You may remember in my Fallout 4 Next Gen Final Verdict video, I talked about some texture flickering, some visual bugs. It was frustrating. It was there. And it's funny because at the time I was like, I don't remember really seeing these with Fallout 4. But also I know I play these games a lot. I just get used to it or not. I don't know what the rationale was there, right? But then I see bugs like this that CSS Jazz posted, which is a massive amount of texture bugs to the point where you're going to see dog meat fall through the floor, meaning that it's not just texture bug flickering happening in the Commonwealth where I had experienced it, but also everywhere else on the map. Again, this type of stuff is just not acceptable. That's kind of Fallout 76 level bad when your visuals are just sinking through the floor. It's really disappointing, especially because I will say this is, I feel like, and people may disagree, Starfield set a new bar for Bethesda in the terms of technical performance. I think the PC version with its feature launch set was unacceptable. They need to do definitely way better with that next time. Not having DLSS at launch is like a cardinal sin in my opinion. Are you kidding me? But when you look at the game as a technical product, when I played it during my review and after my review, putting almost 150 hours into it, it ran totally fine for me. I don't even think I had this game crash on me. Granted, I played on Series X, but I had a pretty good time with the game, and I felt like, okay, you know what? If Bethesda's tightening things up on a technical level because of all the feedback people are giving, like, that's great. So to go from what I experienced there to now sinking your quality level again, and almost in a comical way, might I add, like, Fallout's on this new high, and you're basically giving new Fallout fans that introduction of, like, welcome to the Bethesda experience that everyone hears about online. This is it. Right here, right now. It's a great game. You're going to love it, but it's going to distract you a lot visually because things are going to happen and things are going to break. To me, the toughest part to stomach here is the wait. You announced this at the end of 2022, and I'm guessing work didn't start then, or it was just an absolute catastrophe throughout all of 2023, because the announcement was, hey, this is the Fallout anniversary. We're actually going to be celebrating this by doing a Fallout 4 Next Gen update. More info in 2023. Cool. See you then. It was kind of exciting. Like, okay, we're going to do Starfield and Fallout 4 in the same year. That sounds great to me. Now with Starfield coming out, and it seemed like it just was a plane that had to be landed. It was like, okay, I get it. Like, this is your next big IP. You wanted to focus on that. By the end of the year, we still didn't really have much of a word on the Fallout 4 Next Gen update. And then we get into 2024. We know that it's coming sometime in the first part of the year. Now we think it's around the TV show. It comes weeks after the TV show. It allows 76 to blow up a little bit more and people give it a second chance, which I was happy to see that people really came around to that game, because even as someone who's not a massive fan of 76, it was cool to see it have a bit of a resurgence here, a bit of a bounce back. That type of stuff is awesome. But at the same time, I think we all bought into the idea that this was part of a Bethesda plan. Like, oh yeah, Starfield, it makes sense. And then post-launch Starfield support. Like, you don't really have to zero in on a next-gen update. It's going to take time and work, but it's certainly not going to be of the level of work that big AAA launches are going to take, right? So yeah, of course, like, it's work's probably done. They're just waiting until the Fallout TV show comes around, and it comes out and it's like this is again, it's unbelievable just how bad it is. This lack of preparation I'm talking about isn't just about the bugs and glitches. I still have one pretty funny one to show you all, but it's also things like Fallout 4 being bugged on PlayStation Plus, bugs over on Series X and S, making it a very muddied launch over there. Again, this lack of preparation is inexcusable as far as I'm concerned, because you had so much time. If you literally stamped the date on the calendar, you had like, what, October 23rd or something like that of 2022. You had some time in the end of 2022 up until now to get this right. And your job was very simple. It was a next-gen update, which I'm not going to trivialize the work of a game developer. As a game dev myself, I get it. Like, it is tough, and there's a lot that goes on. There's one thing that breaks, and it breaks another and breaks another. It's a nasty chain reaction. I get it, but you cannot be this ill-prepared when you have that much time for what to many consumers feels like the bare minimum. A new SKU, free update, couple of pieces of Creation Club content that were already available, packaged in the game, boom, here you go. And that's the end of it. It didn't seem like this heavy lift on a technical level, this heavy lift on a work scale, this heavy lift on a release. It just seemed like it was bungled all the way from the beginning of it. Again, another funny bug here is this infinite falling one that user Snoopy the dog posted. Just like, dude, how is this type of stuff happening? What about this one here? An invisible weightlifter. So NPCs aren't even appearing on the map. Naturally, this has drawn the attention of the press. You have outlets like Eurogamer covering it, talking about how it's an absolutely disappointing launch for the Fallout 4 Next Gen update. The annoying part is, if I were to speak from more of a fan perspective here, is that Bethesda is just their own worst enemy. You know, Starfield is one of those moments where I feel like time will eventually be kind to the game, but I get it launched by people who are really disappointed with some of the design choices that were packaged into that game. But then they get this redemption moment, if you will, with the Fallout TV show and their work as a team to help Kilter Films and Amazon deliver something really great there, something that reminded people how fantastic Fallout is. And then you get to the game experience, and the game experience should be the premium, the creme de la creme. And I'm not saying Fallout 4 is a bad game. Y'all know how I feel about Fallout 4. I love Fallout 4, but it shouldn't be launching like this. You should be in a moment of, hey, as we've seen statistically time in, time out with, let's take CD Projekt Red as an example, The Witcher, Cyberpunk, like our games have the chance to blow up. And we have this new thing ready to launch around the show. We are going to get a surge of new players. How do you make it that your most likely next to 76 introduction to a brand new fan is not ready and not good to go, and it's bugged like this to the point where mods are being made for people who are in Nexus, who are in that community, to get around this so you don't have to deal with any of the crap you guys have done? That's embarrassing. And so I'm hoping that they get on this quick, fix it quick. I haven't seen any sort of public statements from BGS on what they plan to do with this, but no doubt that when it's in this sort of state, and it's especially on PC, like the load times, everything about the PC version in my experience is significantly worse, where I'm contemplating getting this mod and just rolling it back. But there's been no word yet as to what Bethesda plans to do to fix this thing up, which is sad to say about a game that came out in 2015 and was just getting its next-gen update now. I will say that the next-gen version on consoles fares a bit better, but on PC, I have had a pretty terrible time with it, and it's disappointing because that's where I play Fallout 4 the most. So, yeah, not just my personal experience, but many others out there not having the best of times with Fallout 4. Are you having a good time with Fallout 4, though? I know, as someone who's been in that position before, where I see everyone talking about this thing is broken and busted and a technical disaster, and I'm playing this thing and it's working fine. I know the feeling, and it is definitely a little weird. So, are you having a good time with Fallout 4? Is it working for you? Let me know down below. I'd love to hear from you. Other than that, take excellent care of yourselves. Have a great weekend, and I'll see you around next week. Stay sexy, stay active. I love you all. Peace.